it's evident in the price that you're paying. It will be evident in your life, the things that you're willing to sacrifice for, to pay for, to invest in.
Yes.
Those are the things that you see that matter. And all we're saying is if you're going to have the family, the marriage, the relationships that you are intended to have, you will pay a price if you pursue that.
That's so true.
And I just want to encourage you to be willing to pay the price. Your home, it matters. You're there to make a difference.
Here's your host, Eric
welcome
Boggs.
to Home Matters. We are so glad you joined us today.
What you doing?
I'm getting my radio voice on.
Wow, we're so lucky.
Yeah.
Killing somebody's ears right now.
We're so glad you're here, whatever you're doing
We
right
are
now
glad
while
that
you're
you are
listening.
here. This podcast 135.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody's life has been impacted.
I sure hope so.
There's a lot that goes into doing this.
I know.
You
And
ever
since
think
you
about
said that, yeah, thank you. Man, to you people out there that make it happen. You know who you are, people that, record and take care of lights and take care of, editing and posting and all that kind of
And
stuff.
covering financially. A lot of
Yeah.
it financially is something that we don't realize that there's so many people behind Home
That's so
Matters.
true.
And
Yeah.
again, we would
Thank you
appreciate
so
any
much.
support out there toward Home Matters
That's right.
that you would ever consider.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage Matters events coming up.
Yep.
They still register for that, right?
Yeah. I mean, registration's open till, about the time we get there. We can
Love
try to
to have
make
you
room
go.
for you, but
Room block is gone, but again,
Yeah,
you make
we
it
would love
still
for you to be there,
make
though.
it still get there at
Pigeon
the hotel.
Forge, Tennessee.
Yeah, but even if you're not able
Yeah.
to get there,
There's another one coming though in September. That seems a long time away, but really not.
Not really.
Registration will open for that one
just move right along.
not long after this event that we're heading into in a week or so. But man, it's a great time for you to get away with your spouse and man, just spend some time. There's a lot of time just to chill in the schedule. We have teaching and direction that way, but a lot of time to chill. But man, we're glad you're with us today on Home Matters. We'd encourage you share the post, share the podcast, help us get the word out because man, we do believe that God uses this to make a difference in people's life. If we didn't believe that, we would not be doing it. Right?
I definitely would not be doing it. I believe that. Which, again, hopefully everything we do is for the purpose of realizing that maybe somebody's life can be changed, impacted.
That's right, man. That's what it's all about.
Man, for somebody's home and family to
Yes.
be impacted by some truth they pick up.
Yeah,
Man,
and just
what
to
a
see your home, your
dream.
family, your marriage, just really live into
Yeah.
everything that God has for you. That's it. That's it.
Today
Man.
we're gonna talk along the lines of topic. I think that if I just gave it a title, it'd be The Price of Pursuit, and it's primarily dealing with marriage. You could apply the principles, I think, in any relationship. But again, I think
That's right.
that one of the things we have to consider is the fact that if we are willing, or if we want what God has for us, that we're willing to pay the price to pursue that thing, that we're willing to
Man,
incur
God
the
just won't
cost, if you
just,
could say it that way.
Dump that incredible marriage and family in my lap.
No, there'll be a price.
Be a price
There'll
to
be
pay.
sacrifices to make. There'll be investments to make. All
Yes.
of that. You'll have to deal with self a lot. You'll have to be willing to give up self.
Unless you're perfect.
Yeah. And there's not any of those out there.
No.
But I'm just
So then
saying
there's a price to pay.
that we've got to be willing to pay the price for what is out there that
Yeah.
is before us, our destiny, our purpose,
Willing-
our fullness, our, all that God has for
Yeah.
our
Willing to
relationship.
pay the price, and that comes in our sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And what your sacrifice is, may be different. Really, I mean, something that you may feel like is a sacrifice for you may not seem like a sacrifice for somebody else, but I think for all of us, it takes the sacrifice of our time, of our energy, of our attention. There's some things
Your
that
chair is making all kinds of noise there.
I know somebody
just some
said
kinda-
that our recording person said that earlier. I don't know if it's the pants I have on today or what.
Maybe so, but it's just if you hear something out there, it's not me. It's my wife. So again,
It's me squeaking in my chair.
but in that again, for family and marriage to have that kind of priority in our life, and for us to give pursuit to it, for us to be willing to sacrifice for it, I think is so important. And I think that again, you said time and energy, money.
Money, yeah.
You know,
Spend the money.
yeah, you spell
Buy a
relationship
gift.
Time and
Money.
right? So in that realize that, and I think it's amazing to me,
Okay.
from a guy's standpoint, it's
Tell me what's
amazing to me
amazing.
how much people will sacrifice and people will pay for the things that they're passionate about.
Yes,
You know?
you're right. And for a guy, you're talking about guys.
I just know guy stuff, guy
Okay.
stuff. I know hunting, fishing. I don't know, video games, guys. I think guys and gals do that. But again, I just think there's so much that we will invest in time and energy
That's true.
and money.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to have the mindset, well, the reason I go hunt is it saves me money. It saves money.
I led him to
we
the
go
light
out
on
and
that one, y'all.
we kill our food and bring it home to the table.
But
and we go
you have
fish
to
and bring
have
those.
Special clothes for that. And
We're not getting into
special
all that. I'm just saying
ointments or
the price that we
stuff
will
to even
pay,
wash your clothes in.
it's enough of that. Women will get up at all hours of the morning to go shop, to get on the latest sale. Or nowadays, a lot of time
Click, click, click.
on Amazon. You spend a lot
He
of
just
time.
told me the other day that taking off our trash has really become an issue lately.
It is a
because
major
there's so
issue.
many Amazon boxes.
It is, because you have to break down those boxes.
We just
to
came
take
through
them
the
into
holidays,
recycle.
though,
So-
hon, just like a month ago. So
Well, I'm just saying there's still boxes.
but girls
We're
do
past
it.
the holidays and there's
Okay.
still boxes. But
it's all good stuff.
all
we
I'm
need.
saying is
But-
that people are willing to sacrifice.
You're right. And it's not just
pay.
guys. Come
No,
on, it's not just guys, ladies. I mean, it is shopping, it is the clothes, it is the shoes. A big thing now is like makeup products.
Oh, the beauty thing.
Yeah, the whole beauty thing.
Do your
making
nails.
sure I have the making
Your
sure we have the
toes.
right like cosmetic. That can be like $100 for a little thing to keep me
I
from
know.
having wrinkles under my neck.
I know.
Come on. Or, getting your nails done and, the manicure, the pedi.
just saying that-
The coffee shop.
Oh dear God.
Yes, stopping by the coffee. I mean, there's so many things that
$8.99 for
will
12 ounces
spend
of coffee. You're
our-
getting ripped, by the way.
money on. There's
Get
so
ripped
many
off.
things. I mean, we will take the extra time to get ready early in the morning to make sure we have time to stop by the coffee shop on the way to work. But
We do some stuff, don't we?
yeah.
And again, guys, we're as
What
guilty.
are we what
I
are we
can-
pursuing?
It's evident in the price that you're paying.
Mm.
It will be evident in your life, the things that you're willing to sacrifice for, to pay for, to invest in.
Yes.
Those are the things that you see that matter. And all we're saying is if you're going to have the family, the marriage, the relationships that you are intended to have, you will pay a price if you pursue that.
That's so true.
And I just want to encourage you to be willing to pay the price. It's worth it.
For your marriage and
Yep.
your family.
Yep.
Yeah. We've read tons of books, obviously, through the years, about marriage and family. And Jimmy, good Lord, Jimmy Evans
You've read more than I have.
is one of those guys that I share it with you, though.
You do.
Is one of those guys that, has written a lot of stuff on marriage. And years ago, he put out the 4 laws of marriage, 4 laws of love, 4
Yep.
laws of marriage.
Remember.
And one of those was the law of pursuit. They were all P's. And one of those was the law of pursuit, and just making sure that we are putting in the effort right? That we're putting in, let me use this word, we don't always like to use it, but we're putting in the work. We are doing something, in other words, for our pursuit. And this is a quote from him. He says, intimacy is always the result of effort. Where you invest, you'll be passionate. And if you think about that in light of the things we've already mentioned today, where the investment is going, whether it's an investment of time, money, or energy, wherever that investment is going, shows what we're really passionate about in our life.
Sure it does.
That pursuit shows what we're passionate about.
Yep. And what we're saying is that there's a price. And,
yes.
And
Scripture
I think
makes
you have
that clear, right?
Yeah, I think you have to recognize that with that, is the price worth what you're after?
Yeah.
And I would say that most of you out there have probably this mindset or this dream of what you would like your marriage to be or what you would like your family
Absolutely.
to look like.
I mean, I don't think you'd be listening to a podcast like this if you really didn't have
I agree.
A dream to have the marriage that you know's out there that God has for you, or that you've witnessed in somebody else's life. You know, hopefully there's some of you out there who have that kind of marriage that other people look at you and say, hey, we want a marriage like that.
And for them to have the marriage like that, they have to be willing to pay the price that you've paid.
That's right, to get there.
This principle, I wanted to share this passage of Scripture. I'm going to let you read it.
Okay.
Since
you mean to read the whole thing or start about?
Start verse 27. It's Luke 14.
Luke chapter 14.
Jesus talking to his followers, and here's what he says. Listen
verse 27 says this, and whoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you, this is verse 28, intending to build a tower, does not sit down first and count the cost, whether he has enough to finish it? Lest after he has laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all who see it begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. Or what king going to make war against another king does not sit down first and consider whether he is able with 10,000 to meet him who comes against him with 20,000?
Wow.
You want me to keep reading?
Yeah,
Verse
go ahead.
32, or else while the other is still great way off, he sends a delegation and asks conditions of peace. So likewise, whoever of you does not forsake all that he has cannot be my disciple.
Yeah, and the whole thing to me is this. If the cost is really negligible, it is nothing if you ever consider the value.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times we don't ever, you know, we can see the value out there, but we don't really live with that sense of knowing, you know what, for me to have that, I'm willing to pay the price.
That's right.
I'm willing to incur the cost. And if we ever consider the value of something, then what it costs really don't matter.
That's right. And the value of a fulfilling, productive, satisfying relationship that's making a difference for your family,
a healthy
and
family.
For your kids, yes, that's making a difference. I mean, what is the value of that?
What am I willing to sacrifice when it comes to my attitudes or even my emotion?
Yeah.
What am I willing to, you know, I'm just mad. Well, sacrifice it. Lay it on the altar. Kill it.
That's good.
You know, lay it down. Your anger's not worth.
What you're losing.
What you're losing. And again, so you give that up. You sacrifice that feeling or that emotion.
That's good.
You know, and again, if you really consider the value of something, this example I've used before, you know, if I came to you and said, hey, it's Monday and by Friday I need you to raise $100,000. I need you to bring $100,000. And for most of us, unless you're just really rich, for most of us to bring $100,000, that would really be almost
a challenge.
It would be almost even something that I wouldn't even consider possible. It would be impossible for.
I mean, why you need that much money?
Most of us to write a check for $100,000 just to hand to somebody else. But if you put it in another context.
Yeah.
And if, you had a loved one, your spouse or your child or your parents or somebody, you're a good close friend that you really love, and somebody came to you and said, they're sick, and the only way for them to get help is for you to pay for this vaccine, or for you to pay for this medication or this this injection, and it's something that's really very rare, or something there's not a lot of supply that's available, and it's very high, and it's going to cost you $100,000. I would guarantee you, because the value of that person or that relationship,
We're going to find a way,
we
right?
will find a way. I'll take out
Yeah.
a second mortgage. I'll sell whatever I have to get that $100,000 to spare the life of my loved one. So
Yeah.
again, all I'm saying, the example is kind of an extreme illustration of it, but all I'm saying is, if you value something enough, then you'll do whatever it takes. You'll pay
Yeah.
the price to get that thing that you value.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to build something great, come on, if you're going to build a great home, a great family, or if you're going to accomplish something that's worthy in this life, it's always going to incur a cost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Price
you know,
to pay.
it's we look at people and say, I wish I could play a violin like that, or I wish I could play a piano like that. There's some costs that they've paid. They've
There are
had
not
some
many
lessons.
people that
They've
can
had
just
some time. Yeah.
sit down and play that instrument without
Yeah, I mean,
paying
there
a
can be a
price.
talent there,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, there's
God-given
a
talent.
price. They've spent some time. They've spent some energy. You can look at that at athletics, that they've put in the practice to get where they are. And I think we have to look at that and understand, if we're going to have the kind of marriage that most of us would say, hey, that's what I want, then it doesn't just come like
You're going to
that.
pay the price.
Yeah.
And again,
You're going to do something.
all we're saying
right?
is for you and your family, your marriage. We talk about the intentional marriage a lot, and you know, that's really what the pursuit is all about. Is we
Yeah.
are intentional, that we don't just let things go by that we know that we could do. We don't.
That's right.
We're willing to put the energy and the effort into the relationship, and in that, I think that all the things that we see in life that are worth something, that are valuable.
That's right.
And again, we'll spend a lot of time over things that are not that valuable.
That's true.
You know, if you go through some things in life, the things that you thought were important,
Man.
you will find out they're not that important after all.
We learned that the hard way sometimes.
We've learned it
right?
the hard way.
We've
We've
learned
learned
that
it
the hard
multiple
way.
times.
But man, you do learn that relationships, there is nothing more valuable in your life than your relationships.
That's right.
First of all, your relationship with God, but then your relationship with your spouse and with your children. Those things are so valuable. And sometimes I'm afraid, you know, on our priority list, they just kind of get bumped down
They do.
over things that maybe our culture or just our own insecurities in our life make seem
Yep.
more important.
Yeah, I would, you know, as we finish today, I would just say, if you would just consider, you know, if you just consider where you are, and with that, consider the fact that, you know, I know there's more.
Yeah.
I know the possibilities are out there. Maybe you do. Maybe you're the one that sees something that you know that is different. That you see a marriage relationship that you know that is different. That you say, man, I want to make sure that I'm willing. Then let's make sure that we allow the passion for that thing to be ignited.
Yeah. And the way that's ignited is when we begin to pursue.
Sure.
Right. I go back to that quote from Jimmy Evans where we started, that our pursuit really reveals our passion. And that's what we've been saying the whole time. So if your relationship is passionless, if there's just nothing there, then we just challenge you, man, what does your pursuit look like?
Yeah,
You know,
what
are we pursuing one another with affection, with our time, with our
Right.
energy? You know, what are we putting into the relationship?
Yep. Pay the price.
That's right.
That's what it all boils down
Pay
to
the
today.
price.
So again, we're asking you together with us. Again, we're willing to pursue. We're willing to pay the price. We're willing to incur the cost.
That's right.
And that hopefully every one of you see the value. Listen, your marriage may not be great right now, but I make you a promise. If you're willing to count the cost and look
Yeah.
at it and say, you know what could we have?
Yes.
And if you'll count the cost, you'll see that it's worth it.
Yeah, and you never stop the pursuit.
No.
Man, I mean, about 40 years in here now,
Yeah.
38 years. And I mean, the pursuit is still like every day. That's on my radar. How can I pursue this? How can I pursue this man, this husband of mine? What can I do?
Yep.
You know, to make our marriage better and better.
And it may
every
be
day.
just taking a little bit of time,
Yeah.
or maybe just a little bit of energy, or maybe a little bit of money,
Yep.
just to do something to say, you know what, I'm willing to pay
That's
the
right.
price for this pursuit, and you will never regret it.
That's
never
right.
regret
It
it.
pays off. Dividends.
We're so
right?
glad always that you join us again. Share the podcast.
Thank you for being
Again,
with us.
come go with us. Marriage Matters. Boy, that'd be a great investment to make.
That's the truth.
Be a nice price to pay for you to go with us. But again, you still get signed up on matters.family.
Go with us, man. We would love to have you there. God bless you. Your home matters. And
Always.
Man, never stop the pursuit.
Hey, we will see you next time.